We usually start at 8:05, so that's what we're going to do right now for chapter 17, because today is November 17th, 2025. We're on Proverbs 17. All right, y'all, I'm going to pray right now, and we're getting into it. Thank you so much for praying for me, because I need it. Definitely. Here we go. Oh. God, it's such a privilege to be able to come to this wisdom when my brain is scattered. It's a privilege for me to be able to come here over and over and over with people who want to come to you over and over and over. Open my eyes tonight. Open my ears tonight. Open my spirit tonight. Help me to hear from this wisdom. Help me to stay focused the whole time. Thank you for this community of people who care to learn your wisdom with me. You're the greatest philosopher I've ever known. You're the greatest philosopher I'll ever know. Teach me tonight, wise teacher. Hallelujah. 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 Amen. All right, y'all. I start every single night by quoting Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. You get them?
Why didn't you tell me you was
It's just more I didn't know you didn't know.
Yeah. You had already asked the question. I thought you was going to do that at the end.
It's just one I'll ask again at the end. Homegirl is upset because she basically took a nap and forgot I was on live right now. Let me make sure. Okay. Anyways, that's what we got going on right now. I start every night by quoting Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. It says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." Jeez, that's already running me over. I'm already ran over right now. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, everyone. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. It's just like this, people. If we do not build our lives on loyalty to God, our lives won't amount to much. All right? We're just going to kick it off just like that. Okay? If we do not surrender our lives to God, what does that mean? I'm going to live the way God wants me to live. I'm going to fight through all of my temptation, all of the things that make me want to be wicked, and I'm going to pursue righteousness no matter what. In Isaiah, it says, I'm going to set my face like flint to obey. Woo! That's the group of people who want to be wise. That's the first group. The second group of people are going to say, I don't really care about God's wisdom. Okay? I might care enough to do a Bible study. I might care enough to be a part of some religious organization. I might care enough to consider myself to be spiritual. But I'm really not going to live the way God wants me to live. What we do every night. My audience is a group of people who care about God's wisdom. Okay? When I talk, I'm talking to people who care about putting discipline into their lives so that we can live God's way, so that there can be some substance to our lives. I'm not here to waste time. I don't have time to waste. Nobody does, because we don't know when our most precious resource runs out. We don't know. We don't know. The more time we waste being fools, the more of our lives we waste. The moment we start to fear the Lord, though, the moment we start to turn our minds, to turn our lives, to turn our behaviors, the moment we start to focus on wisdom and we start changing, that's when our lives get better. Baby. Baby. One sec. Baby, are you going to get out? Come on. Everyone, say hello to Max and goodbye to Max. Tula. He's been in my room all day. Now he thinks it's his room. But it's actually not. Anyways, yeah, y'all. That's what we're here every night to do. We're here to learn the book of wisdom. That's the Proverbs. We learn the book of wisdom, and it starts by saying you'll get wisdom when you bow to God. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to learn this wisdom every single night. I read a chapter, I write the entire chapter, and I invite other people to do the same. That's the offer. Hey, if you want your life to be the best it's ever been in your life, commit your entire life to the wisdom of God. That's the offer. If you want the greatest return on investment for your life, get in the Proverbs. Read a chapter, write a chapter, practice the chapter. Coach T, my guy, what's up? All right, y'all, we starting chapter 17. I missed last night, but we back on. And I'm not feeling great, but we're going to keep going because it's really important for me to keep my routine. Even when I'm not feeling great, it's really important for me to keep the routine. When you break a routine, things can go awry. I don't need that to happen. I need to stay focused. All right. So here we are, chapter 17, verse 1. Better a dry crust with peace and quiet. Oh my God. Woo! Than a house full of feasting with strife. That is a 7-week sermon series. Somebody should preach it. Better a dry crust, and now Max is hollering, with peace and quiet. Than a house full of feasting with strife. Oh, hallelujah. One of my favorite things about this live is there's no other sound except for the sound of my boys, who are my cats. I love that while we read and while we read and write, there's just nothing there. It's just silent. I love this. I love a house that's peace and quiet. Love it. Verse 2. A prudent servant will rule over a disgraceful son. And will share the inheritance as one of the family. Oh, wow. Verse 3, wow. The crucible for silver. Yikes. And the furnace for gold. But the Lord tests the heart. Verse 4. A wicked person listens to deceitful lips. A liar pays attention to a destructive tongue. Help me, God, tonight. Verse 5. Whoever mocks the poor shows contempt for their maker. Whoever gloats over disaster will not go unpunished. Let's read verse 1 through 5 in the Message Bible. Verse 1. A meal of bread and water in contented peace is better than a banquet spiced with quarrels. I love this verse because it talks about the simplicity of life. I really don't need anything extra fancy. I really just need a simple life. I need to be fed by the things that'll keep my body fueled to operate at maximum capacity, optimal capacity. I need that way more than I need fancy dinners with strife and quarrels. I love that this verse talks about what I actually need. What I need more than any other thing is peace. I don't need a better looking car. I don't need a bigger house. I don't need friends that mean me no good. I don't need some type of fame. I don't need clout. What I need is fuel my body with what I need to be fueled with, and I need peace. If as a group of people, the human race, we would all recognize that what we need more than any other thing is peace. You can have every other thing and have no peace and you still lose. Big. You can have think in your head for a second. If you had every material thing you could ever think of and you had it right now, but you had no peace, you lost. I love that verse. A meal of bread and water. If I never get to eat another steak, if I never get to get some more, Thai food, if all I have for the rest of my life is like a piece of bread and some water, but I'm living and I'm in optimal health and all of my friends care about me and my family care about me and I can breathe easy, I'm good. If we all as a group of people, human people, would recognize and chase after peace, what leads us to a life of peace, everyone? Fear of the Lord. Once you start to fear the Lord, once you start to get distraction out of your life, get foolishness out of your life, now you have a whole lot of room for peace where there was chaos before. Come on. Once you start to pay attention to the life that God wants you to live and ignoring every other thing as hard as you can, turning away from every other thing, now you have room. Now I have space. Now I have peace and quiet to be able to chase peace. Verse 2 in the Message Bible. A wise servant takes charge of an unruly child and is honored as one of the family. When there were people in ancient Israel who would work more than the kids in the family, they would take part in the inheritance. If I go to work for this family and I'm working more than a son in that family, I could get that son's inheritance because of my work ethic. Where's the wisdom? What's your work ethic? Are you doing way, way more than what you should be doing or way, way less? Discipline is the way. The hard path is the way. Whatever it is that I need to be doing to improve myself, I just need to be better and better and better. As I get better and better and better, people will in fact see. Folks got that twisted. Oh, I just need to make somebody see, and if I can just play my politics right, then other people will see. It's like, no, if you're a diligent worker, people will in fact see. If you do your job better than anybody else, people will notice. If you practice your craft over and over and over, people will notice. I'm a singer. You can tell the singers who practice and the singers who don't. Okay. I also am a basketball coach. You can tell the people who are practicing dribbling drills, the people who are practicing free throws, the people who are practicing layups, and those who are trying to be Steph Curry from the half court line. You can tell. Like, I know who's going to play. Those who make their free throws and those who play solid defense. Not those who are trying to be so extra fancy. If we could just get down to the fundamentals and be wise and work harder than anybody, everything that we are owed, we'll get it. Verse 3. This is one of my favorite verses in the whole book of Proverbs. All of them are my favorite, but this is a big one. As silver in a crucible and gold in a pan, so our lives are saved by God. I like the way it says it in the NIV. It says the crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the heart. When silver is brought in its raw state, it doesn't look like much. Oh, come on. When gold is brought in its raw state, it doesn't look like much. It has to be tested by fire. Woo. I've loved every single time somebody's preached a sermon about this, because it matches so much. It matches so much with real life. Silver on its own in a rock doesn't look like anything. It hasn't been tested. Gold that's in a rock doesn't look like anything. It has not gone through trials. It has not gone through tribulations. But the Lord is going to test my heart. Wow. You put silver in a very hot crucible. You burn it and burn it and burn it. It turns into a liquid and all the impurities are gone. You put gold in a furnace and you burn it and burn it and burn it and burn it and burn it until all the impurities are gone. I go to the Lord and the Lord is going to purify me over and over and over. Trial after trial after trial, tribulation after tribulation after tribulation. Are you still going to stand, Gia? Are you still going to be one who is for me no matter what? I'm going to test you. I'm going to test you. I'm going to test you. Woo! The Lord tests the heart. I don't know about y'all, but I care only to come out like pure gold. One of my favorite songs, burn me beautiful, burn me lovely. Burn me righteous, burn me holy. If you see something, God, that's in my life that needs to be purified, burn it. If you see things in my life that need to be purged, burn it. If we could submit ourselves to that level of discipline, if we can say, God, I know that I got plenty of things that are impure inside of me, burn it away. Do whatever it is that you need to do with me so I come out pure. Do whatever it is you need to do with me. Take away whatever you need to take away. That's real surrender. Folks like to play with what it means to walk with God. That's what it means. God, do whatever. If it causes me pain, it must need to cause me pain so I can be pure. Those are the type of prayers that real wise people will start to pray. I know there are things in my heart that are not all the way right, if I'm honest. Oh, come on. I know there are things in my mind that are not all the way right. Burn that away. I'm going to put the discipline in my life. I'm going to separate myself from foolishness. And here's my heart, God, burn it. Burn whatever so I can be clean. Verse 4. Evil people relish malicious conversation. The ears of liars itch for dirty gossip. Check yourself right now. Check yourself right now. I'm heavily considering creating a community called The Furnace, right? I told y'all a long time ago, I really liked that movie, The Forge. I really liked it. Long story short, it was a movie where a guy was a businessman and he mentored young men and they all came together and they studied the Bible. I'm seriously considering creating a community for women called The Furnace, where you come in here and you know you're going to be burned. You know this is not going to be light conversation, evil conversation, gossip. This is going to be for those women who want to be dead serious about I got to be the gold. I got to be the gold. I'll do whatever it is I need to do. We can meet up. We can talk. I'm heavily considering these things. Evil people relish malicious conversation. Do you relish? Do you love bad talk? Do your ears itch for some dirty gossip? Write it down in your paper. The only way you'll get better is hold yourself accountable. Verse 5. Whoever mocks poor people insults their creator. Gloating over misfortune is a punishable crime. This is a hard one. For me, anyway. This is a rough one. Humility. No matter how much money you make, no matter whatever your status is, humility is the way of those people who are going to walk with God. Humility. Gloating over misfortune is the hard part. When you've told somebody something and it don't turn out the way they wanted to because they didn't listen, it's our job to say nothing and be humble. Don't gloat over misfortune. When somebody finds some hard times in life, that's not the time for us to gloat. God cares about high integrity, trying to create in us high integrity, people of honor, people who say nothing when you want to say something. Jeez. People who don't gloat. Don't say I told you so, even though you want to. Humility is key. Verse 6. Lord. Verse 6. Children's children are a crown to the aged. And parents are the pride of their children. Verse 7. Eloquent lips are unsuited to a godless fool. How much worse lying lips to a ruler? Verse 8. A bribe is seen as a charm by the one who gives it. They think success will come at every turn. Verse 9. Whoever would foster love covers over an offense. But whoever repeats the matter separates close friends. Verse 10. A rebuke impresses a discerning person. More than 100 lashes a fool. Let's read verse 6 through 10 in the Message Bible. Got some on my glasses. Verse 6 through 10 in the Message Bible. Old people are distinguished by grandchildren. Children take pride in their parents. Y'all, if you have kids, please don't underestimate how important you are. If you have grandkids, please don't underestimate how important you are. I've worked with kids for the last 12 years. That's been my career. Youth development. One of the things that I've hated to see the most is parents taking their jobs lightly. How important is the role of a parent? Children take pride in their parents. They want to walk like you. They want to talk like you. They want to dress like you. All of the examples that you leave for them, they're looking directly at you. They have no other place to look. Old people are distinguished by grandchildren. I personally can't wait to start having kids. Can't wait to have grandkids. I've studied the Bible for so long. I've recognized that the whole design is set up for family. The entire design is set up for people to have kids. Those kids have kids. Now you got grandkids. Those kids have kids. Now you got great-grandkids. That was the whole point. Before society went all haywire, telling us all of these other things we needed to be. That's the whole point. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. That's the first page of the Bible. That's the first page. If we're looking for all of these other things to satisfy us, all these other things to bring us some type of joy, if you have children, that was your role. I know some people might not be so happy about that. That's like a conservative, old school way to see things. I'm just starting on page 1 of the Bible, though. I don't try to make up my own philosophy on life. That just doesn't work out for me. Old people are distinguished. They're the pride of their children. If you have kids, I challenge you. Think only about how you can better serve your kids for the next 3 weeks. Watch how much your kids watch you. Watch how much they like to copy you when you move a certain way. How they like to talk like you when you talk a certain way. That's by design. If we started paying attention to our families, start paying attention to our children, we'll see a greater future. We really, really will. Yep. Verse 7 in the Message Bible. We don't expect eloquence from fools. Yikes. Nor do we expect lies from our leaders. Such wisdom. Don't expect anything eloquent from a fool. If you have low expectations for fools, you won't be hurt as much. Who is a fool? Somebody who does not want to do life on God's terms. If someone doesn't want to do life on God's terms, why am I expecting anything from them? Lower your expectations for those who don't want to walk in God's way. Just lower it. I don't expect my leader to lie. That's not something that I want to expect. I don't want to be a leader who lies. If I find that one of my leaders are a liar, 9 times out of 10, they won't be my leader much longer. I'm just like that. Why would I allow for you to lead me when I know that you are a liar? This must not be a great environment for me. Sometimes we stay in environments way too long, and then before we know it, now because we've been led by a liar, now we are tolerating lies. Now we are lying because we stayed in an environment for too long. What wisdom? Don't expect eloquence from fools. If somebody is not loyal to God, they will not know how to be loyal to you. That's like the biggest thing that the Proverbs has taught me. Is we get caught up in relationships with people, regardless of what that relationship is. If somebody's not loyal to God, they will not know how to be loyal to me. So if you're not loyal to God, I don't have any expectations at all. Therefore, I won't be crushed. A lot of us are crushed because we expect something from people who cannot give us what we want. They just don't know how. Verse 8 in the Message Bible. Receiving a gift is like getting a rare gemstone. Any way you look at it, you see beauty refracted. Verse 8 in NIV says, a bribe is seen as a charm by the one who gives it. They think success will come at every turn. Usually when people wanted to get close to a king back in the olden days, wanted to get close to the leader, they would try to bribe them. And depending on whether the leader had high integrity or not, they would take it. And the person, all of this is just low integrity. I don't have to do any hard work. I'm just going to bribe so-and-so. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to play the politic game. I don't have to work hard. I don't have to give myself to God. I don't have to work hard at my craft. I'm just going to bribe my way into it. This is going to get me some type of success. It doesn't. It's just low integrity. It's just low integrity. If you want to live a wise life, you'll stay away from bribes. You'll work with diligent hands. You'll work with a diligent heart. You will get the rewards from being diligent. Verse 9 in the Message Bible. Overlook an offense and bond a friendship. Fasten on to a slight and goodbye friend. Y'all think in your mind right now the people you call friend. Take a couple seconds. The people you call your best friend, the people who are closest to you. Are those people oftentimes offensive to you or other people? That's a real important question. Do they do things to offend often? Do they start things? Is mess always around them? Some type of gossip? Always trouble finding them some way? If you have friends like that, then you can end up being one of the people who they offend. Even deeper question. Are you the friend who is offensive? Are you the friend who has a hard time being loyal to God and to yourself and to other people? If so, there's an opportunity for you. Have your friends walked off and left you because you have been offensive to them? Do you have friends who you have walked off from because they are offensive to you? There's a way to handle little mishaps in relationships. This is how I do it, okay? If there's a person who I consider friend who has offended me, we have a conversation. After we have a conversation, if that same offense pops up again, we have another conversation. Okay. If that same offense pops up again, we're not having any more conversations. It's like that for me. Because if you were truly my friend, first of all, I don't have fools for friends. So if you were truly my friend, you would already be seeking the Lord for what's wrong in your heart. If we've had a couple of conversations already and we're just not locked in, we need to take separate paths. Many of us are locked into relationships because we've been in them for a long time and they require some type of diligent separation if we just can't be close. If we can't be close, we can have a couple of conversations about why we're not close. Once we have those conversations, if the offense continues, we got nothing else. It's perfectly okay, everybody. I just feel like it's perfectly fine for relationships that used to be close to not be close anymore. Sometimes people grow apart. Sometimes people walk different paths. I have no interest in trying to convert people to my way of living at all. I have no interest in trying to persuade somebody to live like me or think like me. I got no time for that. But if I recognize that we're going on two different paths, there's a grown-up conversation that's going to be had, and it's just going to be that. Maybe we end up getting back on the same path. Maybe we don't. But we have to be at least mature enough to accept every relationship is just not going to be close. And it's right here in the Proverbs. Right here. Verse 10 in the Message Bible. A quiet rebuke to a person of good sense, does more than a whack on the head of a fool. I love that those verses are back to back. If you are my friend, if you are pursuing wisdom, a quiet rebuke to that person, hey, look, you offended me. That didn't make me feel good that you did this. Hey, look, are you still walking with God? Like, you seem like you might have gotten a little bit off the path. When people start saying stuff like, only God can judge me and who you think you are, that's a clear sign. That's a clear sign. If somebody has good sense, they will accept rebukes. Where do you see that I'm falling off? Where do you see where I can get better? Where are the things that I can, please share with me? Share with me the ways that I can get better. Do you see something else? Share. My heart is open to my friends. Please don't, if I'm on the wrong path, please be the first person to pull me back. Please rebuke me. But if you're dealing with fools, you only gonna deal with heartache, because fools don't want to hear that. Which is why we keep hearing in the Proverbs to stay away from said people. We waste our breath talking to fools. We really, really do. We sure do. Verse 11. Evildoers foster rebellion against God. The messenger of death will be sent against them. Wow. Evildoers foster rebellion against God. The messenger of death will be sent against them. Verse 12. Better to meet a bear robbed of her cubs than a fool bent on folly. Verse 13. Evil will never leave the house of one who pays back evil for good. Verse 14. Starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam. So drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. Verse 15. Acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent. The Lord detests them both. Let's read verse 11 through 15 in the Message Bible. Criminals out looking for nothing but trouble won't have to wait long. They'll meet it coming and going. When you look for wickedness, you'll find it. When you look for the wrong way, you'll find it. When you look for righteousness, you'll find it. When you look for the right way, you'll find it. The question is, what are you looking for? Which one are you looking for? Whatever you're looking for, you will meet it. If you want your life to be founded upon righteousness, on wisdom, you'll look for righteousness and wisdom. If you want your life to be filled with wickedness, you'll find it. It all depends on what you're looking for. Verse 12 in the Message Bible. Better to meet a grizzly robbed of her cubs than a fool hell-bent on folly. Y'all, that's next level. I'm not one to just walk up to no angry bear me. If I see a bear at all, angry or happy, I'm pretty much gonna run. But the Proverbs is saying it's better for me to meet an angry bear than to tolerate foolishness. Boy, Solomon in these striking analogies. It's better for me to meet an angry mom who somebody just took her babies away than it is for me to tolerate foolishness. This is why I have a 0 tolerance rule for foolishness. I don't want to meet a bear robbed of her cubs. I don't want that for me. And I also don't want to be in any danger of a foolish environment. And what Solomon is talking about here is saying when you're around fools, when you're in a foolish environment, you're in danger. Check your surroundings. Think about where you've been. Think about some of the conversations you've been having. Think about the people you've been sharing your heart with. Are those great, safe environments? Or are they grizzly bears? Are you putting yourself in harm's way? Verse 13 in the Message Bible. Those who return evil for good will meet their own evil returning. Whatever you put out is going to boomerang back to you. I've learned this. Whatever you put out, if you put out peace, if you put out love, if you put out joy, some type of way, it boomerangs back to you. If you put out evil, if you put out gossip, if you put out lies, if you put out slander, some kind of way, it boomerangs back to you. That's just wisdom. Pay very close attention to what you're putting out. Like Max. Hold on, y'all. Max is probably out here breaking stuff. You see Chancey? He's just sitting here. Being a good boy. He's just... Max outside breaking stuff. Hold on. 1 sec. Oh. She's coming right now. Are you coming right now? I want to get it out for him so he doesn't trip. What's that? Well, you're taking all day. Yeah, we were doing.
He's doing so much.
Do you need to get your food? I didn't feed him. He needs to eat right now. Chance, do you need to get your food right now as well? Okay, cool. So, okay, y'all had to feed my cats because I forgot. That's why he was going crazy. Sorry. I forgot to feed him. He literally just basically cussed me out, but we're not going to get into that. He does that at times. Where are we? Yes, we just talked about the boomerang. Verse 14. Okay, verse 14. The start of a quarrel is like a leak in a dam. Okay, so stop it before it bursts. Y'all, this is like a star wisdom. Like, you really just need to put a star by this. If you are a person who starts quarrels, like, if some mess is going to get started, that's really like you. Put a star by this verse. Okay? The start of a quarrel is like a leak in a dam. Stop it before it bursts. If you do not have the emotional stability to be able to have a mature conversation, okay, thank you. Go on and push that mute button. Here in this community, we have a mute button. What does the mute button do? It mutes us. If I don't have the emotional stability, if I don't have the emotional energy to be able to actually cognitively have a mature adult conversation, and I know this conversation is going to turn out to be a quarrel, I know that this is going to be an argument, I know that this is going to be a fight, stop it before it even starts. What wisdom? Why? You don't, what happens when you end up arguing with somebody? Voices are raised. Anxiety goes up. Adrenaline rushing. Cortisol rushing all through the bones. You can't even sleep. You're just nervous. But if you just hit the mute button, wait until you have some energy to be able to have this conversation, you might be all right. Love that. Verse 15. Whitewashing bad people and throwing mud on good people are equally abhorrent to God. High integrity. If you're wrong, don't care who you are, you're wrong. If you're right, don't care who you are, you're right. High morality, high integrity. As you learn to not be a respecter of person. I don't care if you're related to me. I don't care if I've known you in the past. If you're right, I'm with you. Why? I represent the kingdom of God. When I say something, I represent, when people find out, I teach the Proverbs, everything that I'm doing in my life, that's a billboard for if other people want to walk with God or not. That's too important for me. That's too important for me not to be on my P's and Q's. That's too important for me. I've said it several times in this class. If people would stop trying to convince people to believe how they believe, and they actually were a billboard for righteousness, we wouldn't have problems with witness. We wouldn't have problems with hypocrisy if people would start living the way that they should be living. It's simple to me. If you're a bad person and you ask me, I'm going to tell you, you ain't no count. That's what we say in Mississippi. If you say, gee, am I doing a bad job? Yeah, you're doing a bad job. You're doing a bad job. Hopefully that will make you go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what do I need to do a good job? If you're a good person, even if I don't like you, I'm like this. If you do good, even if I don't necessarily like you, and somebody asks my opinion and it actually matters, and I'm not just talking out of both sides of my mouth, that's a good person. Maybe they've made some mistakes in the past, but from what I see, they've been making right decisions now. It's just that simple. I think the greater wisdom is live righteously, so nobody ever has anything crazy to say. Be a good person, so nobody ever has to lie. Come on. Verse 16. Why should fools have money in hand to buy wisdom? When they are not able to understand it. Verse 17. A friend loves at all times. And a brother is born for a time of adversity. Verse 18. One who has no sense shakes hands in pledge. And puts up security for a neighbor. Verse 19. Whoever loves a quarrel loves sin. Whoever builds a high gate invites destruction. Verse 20. One whose heart is corrupt does not prosper. One whose tongue is perverse falls into trouble. Let's read verse 16 through 20 in the Message Bible. What is this? Fools out shopping for wisdom. They wouldn't recognize it if they saw it. Y'all, we got to stop wasting our time trying to talk wisdom, trying to talk sense into fools. We must stop wasting our time. Here's the truth of the matter. We are here every night with our Bibles open. We are here every night with pens and paper. We are here trying to rewire our brain for righteousness. For some of us, myself first and foremost, it's hard to rewire your brain. When you've been doing something for so long, and then you start reading the Proverbs and writing the Proverbs, and then it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that I have to change about me. Nobody's going to get it by just talking to them. It's probably going to be something like an annoyance if you're trying to talk to somebody and convince somebody out of their bad behaviors. Fools go shopping for wisdom all the time without God. That's where you get those people who are just talking nonsense out of both sides of their mouths. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're just talking. Just talk. And here you are, a person who's been studying wisdom, a person who's been understanding, maybe reading some other books. I like to know everything about all the things that have an important play in my life. I want to know about it. If there's a book that I can learn something about that I don't know anything about, like business, marketing, finances, health, workout plans, careers, all of the things, I want to know something about it. So I'm reading, I'm researching, I'm studying. You'll run into people who just talk about these things, whatever it is that they feel. When you run up on somebody like that, understand them for who they are. Somebody who doesn't read, somebody who doesn't study, somebody who's just talking. And say nothing. And say nothing. Fools will go out here and get on a soapbox and tell everybody anything that they think or feel and ain't looked it up one time. It's just however you feel in the moment. Now that we've been in the Proverbs, now that we've been surrendering our lives to God, cleaning up our lives, we should know better than to even have any discourse with them at all. Okay, you feel that way? Thanks for letting me know. You have no idea. Fools wouldn't recognize wisdom if they saw it. That's why it says the beginning of wisdom is to fear the Lord. And fools don't want to do that. Verse 17 in the Message Bible. Friends love through all kinds of weather. And families stick together in all kinds of trouble. Be careful who you call your friend. If they don't fit, if they don't match up to this verse. That's a real warning. Ooh, tell the truth, Gia. Be careful who you call your family. Ooh, if they don't add up. If they don't. What does that mean? If you have friends that don't stick by you in all type of weather, that ain't your friend. Ooh, I hate to break it to you. I sure do. If you find friends who'll leave you when you're having a hard time, if you find friends or people who call themselves your friends and you're trying your hardest to help them, but they want nothing to hear from wisdom, that's not your friend. They can call themselves your friend, but the quicker you understand, it's just not true. It's just not true. Oh, but we're going to be friends forever. Yeah, but as soon as I had a hard time, you were gone. I didn't see you. I didn't talk to you. Yeah, as soon as we disagreed about something that you were doing that you didn't have no business doing, and I tried to help you out and you didn't want to hear from me, then you were gone. We're not friends. And until you show that you've learned how to make a friend out of God, I don't trust you. What? When all of my friends left, I had to learn that wisdom is my friend. God is my friend. Even deeper, and this is rougher, okay? If family doesn't stick beside you in all kind of trouble, that ain't real family. Get into it. Yeah. If you hit some hard times and you find that people you call your family are running your name, they're not real family. They're not real family. No, there's one of my favorite songwriters. All right. I listened to him in a concert, and he has a line in the song said, "And family are just strangers you know like the back of your hand." Your hometown is just the first place you don't understand. And your family's just strangers you know like the back of your hand. Okay, get into verse 17. That'll save a whole lot of people a whole lot of crying for a whole lot of years. If these people don't add up, and I would simply say, like, hey, you haven't stuck beside me, we're not friends. Hey, we haven't stuck together, we're not close. Let's be for real about it. And that's just what it is. And you'll find people who care about the wisdom of God. You'll find people who share the same interests as you. You'll find your people as you admit who are not your family and who are not your friends. That's a rough one. It's honestly the hardest one, if we be honest. For me, it has been. Verse 18 in the Message Bible. It's stupid to try to get something for nothing or run up huge bills you can never pay. That's that shaking hands and pledge for other people. Y'all, we have to be people. We running up on New Year's resolutions. Okay? Everybody about to have a New Year's resolution. Let us resolve to get our finances together. Let us stop being people who don't know anything. I got several books. I just put them up there last week. If you're looking for a book list, it's several in my Amazon cart or my Amazon storefront, however you say that. Several of them. If you if it's a problem, look up the list and go buy it from a thrift store. I get most of my books from the used bookstore. There shouldn't be anything that you don't know coming in the next year, especially if you're reading and writing. This routine of reading and writing should start you on a routine of just everlasting learning. If there's something you don't know, no need to have consumer credit card debt anymore. No need for why? We serve a God of abundance, and we already know a simple life of what we need. Those are the things that we need to be spending time on. We already know from reading Proverbs we're supposed to be saving an inheritance for our children's children. So let's not blow all our money on Black Friday, everyone. Okay? It's a marketing ploy. Okay? Come on now. Come on. Those little things, they'll gather up some type of dust and you'll be spending some more money next Black Friday. Let's get disciplined. Let's get disciplined. Let's find out what we need and let's take control of our financial lives. Let this be the last year that we struggle with money. Hello? Yes. Let this be the last year that we're saying, I got so much debt, I don't know what to do. Having so much debt means you had zero discipline. If I got so much debt, that means I've been ignorant to what I should be doing with my money and I need to learn more. If I'm behind on things, that's because I lack discipline. Let me put me some discipline in my life. Let me get better. Let this be the last year we struggle for no reason. I meant that thing. Come on. I really did. Verse 19. The person who courts sin marries trouble. I'm saying that 2 more full times. Yeah. The person who courts sin, dates sin, marries trouble. 1 more time. The person who courts sin marries trouble. Be careful what type of behaviors you're dating. Yikes. Be careful when you see those little red flags. You better look at them bad boys and run off from fella. Okay? No. When you see those little red flags pop up in your own life, you keep those around, you'll marry them. And once you marry them, it's real hard to break away. And even once you do break away, it carries so much heartache. No, they're not coming in. I'm going to finish the chapter, then they can come in. That's hilarious. Build a wall, invite a burglar. No need. Again, I think this is a money principle. There's no need for me to be having all of these extra fancy things. Those of you who follow me, who follow my content, I very much live like a minimalistic life. Like I'm very much looking forward to essentialism. Getting rid of all of the things that I don't need. I don't want nobody trying to steal nothing from me. I just want my little stuff. I'm not looking to have no big, huge walls so anybody can look in and try to steal. I think that's wisdom coming straight out of Proverbs. Nothing I have is fancy. You don't want my stuff. You don't want my stuff. I live a simple life. I'm just trying to make sure I'm walking with God, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm a great wife and I'm a great mom so my kids can have a great family. That's just real simple for me. Verse 20 in the Message Bible. A bad motive can't achieve a good end. Double talk brings you double trouble. In the NIV it says, one whose heart is corrupt does not prosper. One whose tongue is perverse falls into trouble. Are you talking too much? Are you thinking before you speak? Just had a conversation about that yesterday. I had to think all day today before I spoke. Every single time I thought to speak, I had to think. And sometimes it's like that. When we want to get wise, you recognize your tongue can get you in trouble. Your heart can get you in trouble. A lot of different areas of religious sects will say oftentimes, oh, the devil did this and the devil is out here tempting this and the devil is no. When you recognize that you the devil, everything changes. No, the devil actually didn't make me do what I did. I did it. No, actually it wasn't the devil that made me spend all my money. It was me and my lack of emotional intelligence. No, it wasn't the devil that made me go over there toward that sexual immorality. I wanted to do that, and so I did. No, once you recognize it's my heart that's corrupt, which is why we go back to chapter 17, verse 3. Crucible for silver, furnace for gold, the Lord tests the heart. Lord, test my heart. Let me stop using the devil as a cop-out. Oh, come on. Come on, be for real. Let me stop using the devil as an excuse. Let me be for real with myself. Let me be accountable. No, this isn't the devil. This is my mind. This is me watching this type of content. This is me watching these movies, and I know what type of things are going to come up for me watching this mess. No, it's me listening to this music. No, it's me eating these foods. No, it's me who's spending all my money. Once you start holding yourself accountable, then you can say, it's me and I can fix me. Come on. It's me and I can give myself more discipline. I can do some more things. I can turn this TV off. I can set some screen time for my grown adult self because I really don't know what I'm doing. I can buy more fruit instead of buying more whatever else that's not healthy for me. I can at least walk for 15 to 20 minutes a day instead of sitting and scrolling. Then you see some things that you can do in your own life. I'm no longer helpless. I'm no longer a victim of the devil. Come on, because God triumphs over the devil. Hello? Always blew my mind how so many people would be talking about the devil as if God is not God. What? No, if I walk with God, come on, he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High. The devil can't get me. I'm my own worst enemy, which is why I have to give myself that discipline. Y'all, let's go ahead to verse 21. Ooh, come on, the devil. More discipline. Come on, verse 21. To have a fool for a child brings grief. There is no joy for the parent of a godless fool. Let's see. Verse 22. A cheerful heart is good medicine. But a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Verse 23. The wicked accept bribes in secret. To pervert the course of justice. Verse 24. A discerning person keeps wisdom in view. But a fool's eyes wander to the ends of the earth. Verse 25. A foolish son brings grief to his father. And bitterness to the mother who bore him. Let's read verse 21 through 25 in the Message Bible. Having a fool for a child is misery. It's no fun being the parent of adult. Those of you who have been here with me for a while in these classes, you know I worked for the Boys and Girls Club for a long time. You know that my career has been in youth development. One of the things that I wish I could have done a lot was talk to the parents. I worked with the kids, but talking to the parents about the severity of how important it is for a parent to be wise. It says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they won't depart from it. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about the youth of today. A lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about the younger generation. My question is, who are the role models? If your children are fools, is it because they followed after yours? They followed after your example? Studying youth development means an infant had to go from an infant to 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 15, 15 to 25. Who was their parent? Who was the one that was supposed to be training them? I do know that sometimes even when there are parents who are giving wisdom, but 9 times out of 10, as it says, when you train up that child, I was trained so heavily in the Bible. There's absolutely, my identity is steeped in, I love the Bible. I was raised that way. I was taught to speak about the Bible from a very young age. I would go to oratorical speeches and I would study the Bible all summer. Me and my grandma would write speeches and I would speak in front of adults and speak in front of kids. It's not a wondering why I do this now. I want to do this for the rest of my life. I love talking about the Bible. Been doing that since I was like 7. My question is, have you gotten your kids in the Proverbs yet? I teach these classes. It brings me great joy. I don't have kids yet, but best believe when I do, they'll be here. This is the beginning of my investment in myself, as it has been for the last 12 years of studying the Bible. So when I have kids, I won't have a fool for a child. Why? I raised my kids in wisdom. I was very careful about the people that I allowed for my children to be around. Okay. Very careful about the school. Very careful about the coaches, teachers. Train up a child in the way that they should go. Why? You don't want a fool for a child. That's horrible. It's horrible. Verse 22 in the Message Bible. A cheerful disposition is good for your health, y'all. That's that peace we talked about earlier. Gloom and doom leave you bone tired. I'm circling it. I'm reading it in the NIV again. A cheerful heart is good medicine. There's a reason Solomon used this, y'all. You ever notice that when you're in a good mood, you typically are feeling pretty healthy? The brain and the hormones that are in the brain and the hormones that are in the gut and how they correlate together. When you're in a good mood, your health is good. And when your health is good, you're in a good mood. However, a crushed spirit dries up the bones. You ever been around somebody that's just always talking about doom and gloom? Every time you come around somebody, they always talk about how negative everything is. And oh, this is bad. And oh, this is bad. This is bad. It's like, geez, I just can't be cheerful around you. What type of person are you? What type of person are you? Going through childhood trauma over the last several months has made me appreciate being cheerful so much. Just digging through, putting in the hard work to get my emotional life in order has made me so happy when I can laugh at a meme. Because I know how that feels. Stress has literally broken me out in hives all over before. Like, kept me up all night and for days. Stress is just crazy. So now I know I have to keep myself in as much of a cheerful disposition as possible. Why? That's gonna make me healthy. Me being cheerful is good medicine. And I'm really heavy on the nature is medicine. Like, I really can't get into all that other stuff. If I have some issues going on with my emotional world, let me go sit with Max and Chance. Let me go play pickleball. Let me do some push-ups or some pull-ups or some rows. Let me go outside for a walk. I just need to be cheerful and have peace. Just want to be healthy. I don't have time for doom and gloom. It leaves me tired. It makes me sick. Verse 23 in the Message Bible. The wicked take bribes under the table. Yikes. They show nothing but contempt for justice. This is what you call low morality. This is what you call low integrity. If somebody's willing to take something under the table, cheat a little bit on taxes. Come on. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean? Yeah. Just steal. You didn't take that much. You took like this much. You know, just being dishonest in the least bit. Okay, what's it say? Wicked. They show nothing but contempt for justice. When you live in high integrity, high morality, you got nothing to worry about. Another one of those health tips. When you live in righteousness, you know in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, I got nothing to be blamed for. I'm living a righteous life. For whatever reason, people don't like when people talk about living a righteous life. It's like we have to be relatable and say how much of a sinner I am. I'm not. Like, I try my hardest to practice righteousness and would highly recommend other people do the same thing. Oh, well, I'm going to fall and fail. Sometimes you sure will, talking like that. Well, I know one day I'm going to fail. Yeah, if you're looking to fail, you'll fail. If you're looking to not fail, though, if you're looking to win, if you're looking to get your mind, your body, your heart, your spirit together, you'll get that wherever you focus your mind. As a man thinks. Come on. Verse 24. The perceptive find wisdom in their own front yards. See what I mean? See what I mean? When you go looking for wisdom, there it is. Fools look everywhere. Fools look for it everywhere, but right here. Fools are out here trying to find all kind of wisdom and all kind of stuff. But they're fools. It's like, oh, silly fool. Don't you know all you got to do is stay focused on the Lord and everything you need, you'll find it? Oh, simple. How long will you be in those simple ways? How long are you going to pursue that wickedness thinking it's going to get you somewhere? It won't. How long are you gonna be arrogant, walking off from God thinking you're gonna find something? You won't. You're not gonna find anything. You're not gonna find anything. But when you're perceptive, when you are one who is looking for God everywhere, looking for righteousness everywhere, looking for wisdom everywhere, you find it. And that's my favorite. I love looking for an answer and boom, there it is. Why? Because I'm so connected with God. God, can you sometimes I lose stuff in my house. I left my phone somewhere. Where did I put it? I'll say, God, where I put my phone? Boom. And then it just pops in my head. If you get that close to God, you'll recognize that's real living. I don't have to trust myself at all. I trust God. Come on, verse 25. A surly, stupid child is sheer pain to a father, a bitter pill for a mother to swallow. Hard question to probably ask the community. If you have children, take into consideration right now, are your children wise or foolish? I don't need to know. The community doesn't need to know. If you don't want to share. This is not me trying to put somebody on blast. This is genuinely for you. If you have children, are your children wise or are they foolish? What can you do about it? I'm one of those adults, one of those supportive relationships, one of those mentors who tell parents, go and snatch that phone. Go on and turn off that YouTube, turn off that TikTok. Go on and have some conversations with them. Go on and take that video game. Come on. We've had enough virtual reality. We need some reality. Come on. If your children are foolish, go on and limit the time that they spend around other people's foolish kids. It's so simple. It's so simple. Have you discussed with your kids' friends' parents what way they're parenting their kids? Because you putting your kids directly around their parenting. Just saying, it's all hope is not lost for the kids. all hope, these kids, and I'm looking like, where are their parents at? If their parents put themselves on some routine, get in the Proverbs, their parents put themselves on some discipline, turn off their phone. If their parents give themselves some discipline, get out of the TV, maybe the kids will have some hope. I love the kids. I really do. I've spent the last 12 years with other people's kids saying, hey, there's hope. There's hope. They just need you. One more time. They need you. If you have kids out here, your kids need you. If they have mentors, I've been a mentor for a long time. The kids didn't need me. They needed their mamas. The kids didn't need me. They needed their dads. If you got time away from your job and you've been in the Proverbs, take care of your kids. Make sure your kids don't turn out to be fools. Do everything in your power to ensure that they don't. Come on, they need you desperately. Wow. Verse 26. If imposing a fine on the innocent is not good, surely to flog honest officials is not right. Verse 27. The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint. That's that mute button. And whoever has understanding is even-tempered. Verse 28, the last verse of the chapter. One of my favorites. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent. And discerning if they hold their tongues. Let's read verse 26 through the end of the chapter, verse 28. It's wrong to penalize good behavior or make good citizens pay for the crimes of others. Again, this is the same verse that we read earlier. If somebody is wrong, they're wrong no matter who they are. If somebody is right, they're right no matter who they are. If you are to be a good leader, you will see the thing for face value and judge it just like it is. If you have things in your heart, if you have things in your mind that you know are wrong, correct those things. Don't make excuses for them. If you have things that are in your heart that you know you're working towards, don't badmouth yourself. Give yourself credit for the things that you're doing that are good. Verse 27 in the Message Bible. The one who knows much says little. An understanding person remains calm. Y'all, the one who knows much says little. An understanding person remains calm. As you get more and more and more and more of this proverbial wisdom, as you get more of this wisdom of God, you will see out in reality, you will see out in real life that not very many people have it. You'll see out in reality, in real life, as you go to work, as you go to different places, you'll see, if you watch the television, if you see the things, sometimes the shows, the movies, the whatever, you'll see a whole lot of foolishness. If you haven't been able to tell already, living this life by wisdom is not a popular way to live. It's just not. You are in a minority of people who want to live a righteous life if you want to live a righteous life. When you know much, you start to say little because nobody understands anyway. You start to recognize that the majority of people that you would have been talking to are just foolish anyway. Care about foolish things, let anything go, waste all of their time. And so then you just stop talking very much. It's like it's really nothing to say. An understanding person remains calm. Come on. Verse 28, last verse of the chapter. Even dunces who keep quiet are thought to be wise. As long as they keep their mouths shut, they're smart. If you're a person who has never considered yourself to be smart before, there's good news for you. All you have to do is hit the mute button. Say nothing. Even a fool is thought to be wise when they say nothing. This has probably been the most implemented thing in my life since I started teaching these classes. I have become more and more and more silent. Not quiet, silent. Nothing. 9 times out of 10, anytime I got myself in some type of trouble, it was because I was talking too much. It was because I was talking to people I shouldn't have been talking to. Now that I've been steeped in the Proverbs for over a year, say little, learn more. Ooh, say less and learn more. I'm writing that down for my own self. I found out that I can't read a book and talk at the same time. What? I can't do it. I got to get my book in a week. And I can't do that if I'm talking. I read physical books. I used to do audio books, but I don't even do those no more. Reading a book is the highest level of discipline that I put in my life now. Reading a book every single week, which means I need to be reading a considerable amount every single day, which means I don't have time to talk foolishness. I don't have time to consume other people's content. I'm either creating or I'm learning. I'm not really talking very much. It's a life hack that I've learned. And it comes directly out of this 3,000-year-old Proverbs. This is why I tell people to get into Proverbs. All right, y'all, that's the end of the chapter. I'm going to pray right now. Ooh. God, I'm so thankful that I had these Proverbs to come to tonight. When my mind is wandering and I don't know and I want to know, I come to you. Thank you for all of the wisdom that you've been teaching me. Thank you for the ideas, and all I have to do is just open these books, read them, write them, and apply them. Thank you for the blueprint. It really is so peaceful to know that all I have to do is just keep studying this book of wisdom and I'll be wise. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. Thank you for this community of people who come every night with their own Bibles, with their own pens, with their own paper. These people who also are trying to pursue you, God. You are who we are here for. You are who I am here for. For the last 12 years, you have been my North Star. You will always be my North Star. I found no other peace anywhere else. I'm going to keep coming back to this. I'm going to keep pointing other people to you. You're the greatest philosopher I've ever known. You're the greatest philosopher I will ever know. I want to be a great philosopher just like you. Thank you for teaching me tonight, wise teacher. Hallelujah. 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 Amen.